Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojo-Baka, and looking at our stories. Electricity and water tariffs are set to increase by 3.02% and 1.86% respectively, effective October 1. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission attributes the hike to key uncontrollable factors, particularly the US dollar as well as the Ghana cedi exchange rate and other economic pressures. They issued a statement, and I would like to bring you a summary of the statement. It reads, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC of Ghana, has conducted its quarterly tariff review, resulting in a 3.02% increase in electricity tariffs and 1.86% increase in water tariffs effective October 1. This review under the PURC quarterly tariff review framework reflects changes in key factors such as the US dollar, as well as the Ghana cedi exchange rate, domestic inflation, the cost of natural gas, and electricity generation mix. The adjustments aim to maintain the real value of tariffs to ensure financial viability for utility providers, allowing them to fulfill their mandate and sustain service delivery. The Commission further emphasized that several other underlying factors, including the current economic conditions and general living standards of Ghanaians, competitiveness and sustainability of industries, resulted in the percentage hike. And to some other stories, scores of consumers say they are beginning to feel the pinch of the gas shortages in parts of Accra. The LPG Marketers Association have attributed the challenge to at least 70% of their outlets running out of gas. Joy News' Helen Nakai visited some outlets and has come through with this report.
Some LPG outlets on Friday had put out the inscription "No gas" at their stations to preempt customers of the gas shortage. The LPG Marketers Association said the situation was as a result of limited gas supply at least 70% of its outlets. Gabriel Kumi is vice president of the liquefied petroleum gas marketers.
As at this morning, about 80% of all LPG stations within the Accra Tema metropolis had run out of gas. The few ones that had the product saw very long at these retail outlets. For instance, the one at Alajo, the one directly opposite the police depot, there was a lot of customers there trying to access the product.
But even before the full effect of the shortage will be felt across the country, consumers who were spotted by our cameras seemed frustrated about the gas stations running out of stock. Some claimed they have visited several outlets with no success. One of the managers who pleaded anonymity told the news team they have been without gas for about 3 weeks. He warned that the situation could be dire if government does not intervene. With those outlets that are yet to run out of supply, they were confident they will soon receive supply. But that's not enough reassurance to calm the nerves of these frustrated consumers who spoke to Joy News.
Personally and for our household, we had to come here on Monday, and there was a signpost here saying there's no gas. And so we had to check out other vending stations. So we went to Aveno, we went to Alajo, and it was the same story. So we had to go back home with our empty cylinders. And the only alternative was to go back to charcoal, which we all know is harmful to our health and also the ozone layer. So we are glad that there's gas here now, and we are trying to make a purchase. Hopefully, it reaches our turn.
This shortage has really affected me personally because I have a lot of clients I supply. Now I have to wake up very early. Today I woke up at 2 to look for LPG for my clients. And I'm still here. I've not even gotten most of my cylinders with gas inside.
Meanwhile, the LPG Marketers Association has confirmed that the liquefied petroleum gas shortage is beginning to ease. This follows the National Petroleum Authority dispatching several trucks loaded with LPG to various gas stations across the city. According to the vice president of the association, Gabriel Kumi, they have started receiving enough trucks of LPG to sustain the market and stabilize supply. He therefore stated that they expect about 10,000 metric tons of LPG next week, which is significantly going to reduce the pressure at LPG stations.
Good news is that as of this morning, we started loading from the BDCs. These trucks are loading and they will be moving towards the various LPG stations. We are quite confident that by midday tomorrow, the shortage situation will improve. Currently, what came in is enough. Our understanding is that another ship is coming with about 10,000 metric tons, and that should come in early next week.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental and Wellness, as well as Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. Let's now take some election-related stories. A deputy chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asari, has announced that the commission will present the entire voters' register to political parties and other relevant stakeholders on Tuesday, October 1. This move comes amid growing concerns about the accuracy and credibility of the provisional voters' register ahead of the 2024 elections. Dr. Asari announced in response to calls from various political parties, especially the National Democratic Congress, for an audit of the voters' register. Now, speaking on Newsfile, Mr. Asari assured the public that there's no cause for alarm as the voter register is credible.
All these discrepancies, the commission has addressed them. I know currently, as we speak, the code is still there. The code 751. That 711*51, that code is still there. And we've never had people saying that they've checked and they couldn't find their names. But what the commission is saying is that because of the time frame, we can't do the physical re-exhibition. But we are going to allow this particular one, which will go on till election day. As you know, we have the election, my brother mentioned that about 60 days to the election. You need to have a final register. As soon as you have the final register, that's what you are going to use. So when the commission gives the time, I know there are countries, people register, same day registration, you vote. Unfortunately, we don't have that in Ghana. What the commission is doing on Tuesday, we've invited the parties, the CSOs, the donor partners who attend IPAC meetings.
The independent presidential candidates will also
I need to check if the letters were sent to them. Okay. So what we are going to do a present, and it's only one item agenda.
Okay. A
discussion on the 2024 voters register. And something, you know, in our local parlance, when we say a blind man says, I'm going to hit you, he knows what he has.
His foot on the stone.
So clearly, what the commission, the exhibition is meant to address this. The 243,000 he mentioned, those were transfers from 2020, 2023, which were added onto the transfer, and the commission has done all that. So on Tuesday, I'll be happy. You will not be around. You will see the presentation, and if there are questions, that's why I know the parties have the capacity to know we've given them the right document.
Meanwhile, PNC flag bearer Bernard Mona, who was disqualified by the Electoral Commission, says the errors pointed out by the EC that led to his disqualification were insignificant, insisting the EC makes such mistakes too.
So these incomplete records or particulars refer to a date that is omitted, refer to a polling station name that is omitted, refer to a polling station code that is omitted, refer to a telephone number that is omitted, and sometimes on one set of forms, all the information is provided. On some other forms, the information is not provided, so we simply corrected them and returned them to the Electoral Commission. Something. These are the errors the Electoral Commission identified and brought to my attention on the 14th. And on the same 14th, the corrections were done to the Electoral Commission. On the 20th, take note, 14th to the 20th is 6 days clear. On the 20th, when I started getting calls from other aspirants, and I keep telling people that the political space is just a circle. All of us are inside there and we play together. I know what problems the CPP have faced. I know what problems the LPG faced. I know what problems every political party faced with their nomination forms because we talk to each other. In the end, I called Jean Mensah. She could not respond. I called Samitete, she could not respond. I called Dr. Bosman. He responded and said, over the night, the committee gave them some report. They have issued letters, but he was heading to the office. Who said that mistakes are not bound in human institutions? This is the Electoral Commission's own nomination forms. Go to page 139, and it talks about candidates' personal records. On the candidate's personal record, 1, name. 2, voter ID number and polling station. 3, it says 6. Then they put M and F.
Well, NDC MP for South Dine, Roxy Nelson Dafemakbo, also said the EC's parliamentary forms are riddled with errors and deserve to disqualify itself from supervising over elections.
The parliamentary nomination forms is riddled with errors. I sent information to EC that I have identified as many as 4 paragraphs under declaration with errors. So, for instance, if we had proceeded to endorse them the way EC released them, I would have disqualified myself, for instance.
Do you find?
So I'm making a point that the EC itself, in its official documents, made errors. And that's why Bernard said, these are trivialities. You see, the use of district is confusing. They should say constituency because the polling stations are located in the constituency.
The law is clear that your endorsement must come from districts.
It must come from constituencies.
No, it's district.
Hold on. It
Two
must come
endorsements from a district.
They quoted that. They did it. The law mentions constituencies. So that error comes from the EC. The law speaks of constituencies because polling stations...
You are not changing the regulations here.
The polling stations are gazetted in constituencies.
No, you are trying to change the regulation.
The law.
The regulation says
that is the law.
You should have 2 people endorse you from each district.
Then there has to be an error.
The law is an error.
Yes, why? The law can be an error.
If it's an error, then
the law can be an error. So, because when you use a district,
in Parliament,
you see, when you use a district, you'll be confusing the particularization on the ground. The polling stations are not located in districts; they are located in constituencies.
You have been filling these forms. You have not been making these mistakes.
No, I don't make those mistakes.
Right.
So let me get back to the point that you raised. That is why under Regulation 9(6) of 127, CI 127.
NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama has issued a stern warning that anyone who causes financial loss to the state in connection with a new $800 gas processing contract will face the full rigors of the law. During his tour of the Greater Accra region, he said the amount involved necessitates parliamentary approval. He cautioned that if the contract is not presented before Parliament, a future National Democratic Congress government will hold accountable those responsible for signing it, ensuring that they are prosecuted for causing financial loss to the state. Maxwell Agbagba reports.
The NDC presidential candidate John Mahama arrived in the Blakema North constituency as part of his tour of the Greater Accra region, making the sign of the number 8. Addressing the crowd, he pointed out that the NPP had declared they would break the 8, but now he symbolically holds the 8, questioning how the NPP intends to achieve their goal.
They said they were going to break the 8. Unfortunately for them, the 8 is with me. Breaking the 8, breaking the 8, breaking the 8. Nyumwawoko, neka 8 ekeha John Dramani Mahama. Ewo 8 mi here 8 abahena Janmakwe. I am holding the 8. Let them come to me and ask for the 8 to break. The 8 is going to break. It's going to break 8 years of corruption. It's going to break 8 years of economic mismanagement. It's going to break 8 years of impunity. It's going to break 8 years of arrogance. That is what is going to break. And so I have the 8. and NDC is going to win 7 December 2024 with number 8 position on the ballot.
He warned that persons who cause financial loss to the state in a new $800 million gas processing contract will be made to face the full rigors of the law. He wants the contract to be subjected to parliamentary scrutiny.
So why is there a hurry to sign the contract for the second gas stream? Just because they want to commit it, take their 10%, and if it takes even 5 years for the gas to come, they don't care. We are warning everybody who's involved in this contract. If there's financial loss to the state, they would be held responsible for that. And for a contract valued at $800 million, I believe that it must be subjected to parliamentary approval. Because they want to avoid parliament, they have set up a wishy-washy Ghanaian company as the front so that they don't have to go to parliament because it's an international company. We are watching. If there's financial loss to the state, people are going to be held responsible.
Time for a breather. We'll be right back with more. Please stay. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. The High Commissioner of Pakistan, Her Excellency Farhat Aisha, has called on the Ghanaian government to strengthen collaborations with Pakistani authorities to revitalize Ghana's ailing textile industry. She believes that by fostering bilateral trade ties in the textile sector, both nations could benefit significantly. She's been speaking at the 30th anniversary celebration of EdTex Ghana, and we have more in this report.
Ghana's textile and garment industry, which date back to the 1960s, has played a crucial role in providing employment, generating revenue, and contributing to the country's economic growth. However, the industry has faced significant declines in recent years. Speaking at the 30th anniversary celebration of EdTex Ghana, the Pakistani High Commissioner, His Excellency Farhat Aisha, called on government to strengthen partnerships with Pakistani authorities to help revive the sector.
I think the industry has to do more in terms of productivity, establishment of new units, and the cost-effective fabric to clothe all the Ghanaians. We would encourage the Ghanaians to visit Pakistan, how the industry is working in terms of gaining skill. So we will be very happy to share our skills and experience with you.
The sector has been grappling with issues such as lack of access to raw materials, competition from cheap imports, counterfeiting, and a shortage of skilled labor. Despite these difficulties, EdTex Ghana, a company specializing in handmade batik fabric, has thrived for 30 years, serving fashion designers and the broader textile industry.
This event came about because I thought after 30 years, I need to let people know that I've come far, and there are experiences that I would want to share. We seem to be encouraging imports, and if the government doesn't put its feet and be very firm about policies with regards to textile imports, I mean, the industry will collapse. And if it collapses, it's collapsing with a lot of people.
While praising EdTex Ghana's achievement, CEO of Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Dr. Efua Asabia Asari, reaffirmed the authority's commitment to supporting the country's textile industry moving forward.
For EdTex to be 30 years in the textile industry, it means that they have grown big enough to export their wares on the global market.